Recording. And then let me share screen. So, this is a trip that will be from July 22nd through 28th of next year, so just about a year away. We are really excited to be returning to Scotland. It's one of our favorite destinations. We always pick a different place in the UK, larger, area to go, and so we're going to be headed back to Scotland next year. It is at a high level, the chance to see three different cities in Scotland, plus lots of time out in the West Highlands that, Scotland is so famous for with the wild and natural landscapes. But the tour starts in Edinburgh, so you'll have the chance to do a walking tour of the Royal Mile, as well as the Edinburgh Castle. You'll have a free day in Edinburgh because we want to give you time to see all of the different museums. If you're big into golf, a lot of famous golf places there. If you're into the ocean, you can take a day trip out to see the sea in a town called St. Andrews, or you can just walk endlessly around Edinburgh itself. It's a super compact, very walkable city, and just being around all of the beautiful buildings and architecture is a main highlight. Then we head up north to Inverness, and also to Loch Ness, which is where the Urquhart Castle is, right on the shores of Loch Ness. So we'll have the chance to explore Inverness and then see Loch Ness and the castle. We'll then head to the West Highlands, which is where the Glenfinnan Viaduct is, as well as many of the really beautiful landscapes. So we'll have a driving tour around the Scottish countryside. And then finally, we will hop on the train to get from the West Highlands to back to the cities, and we'll have the chance to do some more urban exploration. So this is an overview of the itinerary day by day. You'll arrive to Edinburgh Airport, and since it's an overnight flight, most flights will get in from the US or Canada in the morning hours. So if you want, we can either book you a hotel for the night before, or you can just check in, leave your luggage, and then hang out for the afternoon until check-in starts. The first activity planned for the group will be our welcome dinner. Then on the 23rd, we will have that guided tour of the Edinburgh Castle, as well as the Royal Mile and the Palace of Holyrood. And this will be a pretty full day walking tour with lots of stops along the way. And there will be some free time in the afternoon for, any shopping or rest. The 24th is going to be our free day in Edinburgh. There are really nice museums. There is also the iconic Arthur Seat Walk, which is a hill that you can actually walk just straight from where we're staying in central Edinburgh out to a big park, and then up this. It's a mountain in Scotland. It's probably not really a mountain when you think about mountains in the US, but it's really more of a hill. It took me about maybe 45 minutes to walk up it and 30 minutes to walk down. And it has a beautiful view out over the city. And it is just a really nice way to get some exercise on your free day, as well as get a nice panoramic view. So that's one of our favorite things to do. We will enjoy a traditional pub dinner, and then this 25th is when we start our train north to Inverness. So when we did this tour 2 years ago now, back in 2024, this is one of our travelers, and we took the train up to Inverness. And then when we get in the afternoon, we have a guided walking tour to learn about the history of Northern Scotland, which is much more isolated and has a very interesting history that's quite different from the more royal history of Edinburgh. The 26th will be our Loch Ness day. So we will have a private driver and guide who takes us to Loch Ness. And then we see multiple other stops along the way through the West Highlands. We'll have lunch in a really cute town called Mallaig, which is on the coast of Scotland and is a fishing town. And then we will stop and see the Glenfinnan Viaduct, which is that really famous train bridge that you'll probably recognize from Harry Potter. And then we will end the evening in a town called Fort William. It's a really quaint, very small, like couple thousand people town in the wilds of Scotland, but it's a great place for us to rest, spend a night before we continue on, and gives you a feel of sort of the countryside of Scotland. And then we will continue on via train from Fort William down into Glasgow, which is the other second largest city in Scotland. We will do a walking tour of Glasgow and have our farewell dinner with a whiskey tasting. Glasgow, if you want to spend more time there, you could choose to do that, or on our departure day, you can take the private airport transfer. We will have a driver who will take you back from Glasgow to Edinburgh Airport, so you can fly in and out of the same international airport. But last year, again, there's a lot to see in Scotland, and so we had many ladies who chose to stay an extra day or two at the end of the trip to explore the region a bit more on their own. So that is the itinerary at a high level. This is a bit more about pricing. So the trip price in single occupancy, all of our trips are always in single occupancy, so you can be social during the day and then go back to a private room in the evenings, is $6,695. That is your daily breakfast and dinner, your 5 lunches, so every day but the free day, as well as all the guided activities, the transportation, the train tickets, taxes, tips, entrance fees to all of your monuments. So other than alcohol and your international flights, plus that one lunch, there's not really anything out of pocket that you would need to pay for on this trip. And then finally, some FAQs. So the weather hopefully will be very mild and sunny. Scotland, it can kind of rain all year round, but we typically have gotten very lucky. 2 years ago when we did this, we had many of blue sky days, 50s to 70s. Bring a light jacket, but you don't need too many layers. You won't need any visa. You will need a electronic transit authorization from the UK, which is a very simple thing that you fill out some questions through an app before you go, and you get a little QR code basically that is attached to your passport. And when you land in the UK, there's nothing for you to do. You just need to have filled it prior to arrival. And we send, if you're ready for this trip, instructions on how to do that. No vaccines. Yeah.
That last is only for folks who don't have a passport, right?
So if you have a passport, everybody, the UK implemented this system earlier this year to have an electronic transit authorization. And so this is new for all Americans. But basically it's just a very simple form. When I went to the UK, I guess a month ago now, it's like name, your passport number, your flight information, you take a selfie, and that's just a way for them to speed up your immigration process. So instead of having to like go see a customs officer when you land in the UK, they already have all of that information, and you just scan your passport and then they let you through.
Okay.
And I think it cost about £10 for a 2-year valid visa. So you just paid by credit card, and it gives you, if you want to go back to other parts of the UK, you can, and it's valid for 2 years. And then currency is the Great British Pound, but credit cards are widely accepted, and internet is very widely available. We would just recommend, if you want to, ask your local phone carrier, you can get mobile service through them, or you can buy eSIM to use. So let me stop there and see what questions folks have.
So I have a question then. So we'll be staying in 3 different locations?
We'll actually be staying in 4 different locations. So it's a bit of a more moving around tour, but just because we want you to be able to see the whole of Scotland and not spend all day in in a car basically. So you'll spend the nights, 2 nights in Edinburgh, 1 night in Inverness, 1 night in Fort William, and 1 night in Glasgow.
Okay. Sounds good.
Other questions from folks?
I have the same question that I had for the previous calls. Okay, my microphone.
Oh, hold on, I can't quite hear you.
Sorry, is that better?
Yes.
I'm on my phone and my computer at the same time so that I
No
can
worries.
see the pictures a little better. But I have the same question I had on the other call, which is with regards to the photos. They are beautiful, but is it possible to get photos of the places that we would actually be? So, for example, what your room would look like at the hotels and
Yeah.
various places you're gonna be at, and other things like that, so we can
Yeah,
kind of
so
see
most
those
of
things.
these photos are pretty much all photos we took on our last tour to Scotland. So that is, you're very much seeing the real places the ladies visited when we did this tour previously. But in terms of accommodations, I'm happy to share the accommodations and examples of where we'll be staying at the moment. Because we're still a year out from this trip, hotels haven't quite opened all of their booking systems yet. So we have our planned hotels that we will be staying at, but they're not guaranteed to be that. We always, at the 12-month mark, it's sort of this is what we want to stay at or equivalent, just because it takes us typically until about 8 or 9 months prior for the hotels to have their bookings open for us for a group. Awesome. Other questions? I'm happy to hang around and answer more, but otherwise, just at a high level, next steps for people who, I'm sorry, some people I'm repeating this, but the process for booking is to pay a $400 deposit to reserve your spot on the trip. And you'll get a link when I send a follow-up tomorrow with a link to this recording, as well as a link to the registration form that you'd fill out. You fill it out, it will generate an email back to you with an invoice and a link to pay the deposit. We then have everybody on a monthly payment plan. So you pay $400 a month towards your trip, which helps reduce the amount that you have to pay at the 90-day mark. And then your final balance for the tour is due 90 days prior to travel. So in April of 2026. And signups are open. 2 women already signed up this tour, and the max is 10. And at this point, really, we'll keep bookings open until we reach that capacity mark, at which point it'll change to wait. But it has been a tour that has historically sold out. So we do always just recommend when you're ready, pay the deposit so that you can make sure that you get a spot and not wait till the last minute. So,
Catherine, just to clarify, so with the UK ETA, you said it was good for 2 years?
yeah, so yours, since you were just in the UK, you won't have to redo that. It's as if you get as long as you don't get a new passport, if it's the same passport, it'll stay the same. You won't need to reapply.
Oh, great. And I, going on the UK trip, I really appreciated the information you provided on those off days, just different options of things to do and how to get there. So it's just kind of fun to explore a little bit on
Yeah.
your own too. So
Yes, I think you loved Bath, and I think you will also love Edinburgh. If judging by how much Nora loved both of them, I think you will enjoy both of them a lot. So Edinburgh,
sounds good.
it's a bigger city than Bath was, but it also has the same like matchy architecture, very old, historic, charming town. So it's one of my more favorite cities in the world that I've had the chance to visit.
Because London was great, but it was nice to have that. It was a different feel in
Yes.
Bath. So I'm sure Edinburgh will be too.
Awesome. Well, like I said, if you have more questions, you'll get an email from me with a link to this recording, my email address, and feel free to reach back out with questions. But otherwise, I wish everybody a great rest of the night and hope to see you on another call or maybe a trip in the future.
I actually have a
Thank
quick
you.
question before you jump off. Sorry to hold you up.
Yeah.
So I was looking at your website to see like what are all the various available trips that you have, and you also have one that's going to Iceland, which looks pretty amazing. And I overheard someone talking about a trip to Bali as well. So those are 2 other trips that I had some interest in. I was
Yeah.
wondering, When are the information sessions for those? Have they already passed? I know that they're coming up a little bit sooner.
Yes. So Bali, I did an info session last night, so I can send you the recording for that one.
Okay.
Iceland is a really small group. We cap it at 5 people. And so that one is
Okay.
actually sold out just because you have to fit everybody in one vehicle. And the vehicles
Okay.
are quite small there. So that one doesn't have availability, but Bali is in December of 2025 this year.
This year, yeah.
And we do have spots on that one. So I'll just send you one big long recap email where it has the recordings to like this, Panama, and Bali, and then you can take a look at all of them.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, thanks everybody. Have great rest of your night.
Bye.
Nice.
Bye.